Welcome again to EXPAT American. I am the EXPAT American. Of course, my real name is josephstephenrose. This guy also has an internet name, Sanctioned Ivan. What does that mean? Why would he be Sanctioned Ivan? I don't even know his real name. Maybe I'll learn it, maybe I won't. Who knows? This guy is a Russian man. He has studied, though, abroad in Ireland. He's back here, making his home here. Has he been sanctioned? What does he think of Russia? What do other Western countries think of Russia? Maybe he knows. Let's find out right now. It is a Thursday. Look at the crowds of people. It's the middle of the day. I'm headed to Red Square right now again. And today I will be meeting with someone new. Such a famous spot, I never get tired of seeing it. So St. Basil's, famous church. It's the Kremlin Tower, the Red Wall. The Red Castle here is a historic state museum. And then these are like the entrance gates. So I guess that was actual security back in medieval times. So you can see the metal gate. Behind me is the shopping mall. Famous shopping mall. I'm gonna go through that gate and meet our guest. And I'll be his guest. So there's the gate there. Check it out. And I can hear religious music. There's a little Orthodox temple they have right at the entrance here. I'm outside of Red Square now, technically. I mean, it's still the Red Square grounds, but I'm not on the literal square or rectangle. You can see the Kremlin Tower there. This is the other side of the castle. And check it out, they have built this temporary summertime hill with all these exotic flowers on it, just so people can come and sit and enjoy summer. And you can walk all through there. I was just over there. But people are kind of enjoying their time on the benches, and I don't want to be talking loudly while they're trying to relax. All right, I'm walking with Sanctioned Ivan, and Ivan had some trouble getting over here because I think he doesn't live in the center.
Yeah,
what
live
I'm
in the
learning
countryside.
about Moscow is it's kind of like New York. If you are within the center and you're carless and you're part of their underground metro system, you kind of have everything here and you're kind of here. And if you don't, you're kind of outside with your car and it's hard to get in here. Something like that?
Yeah, that's true. And I'm not a big fan of subways either. So I parked my car somewhere and I got a cab over here. But the traffic is horrible in Moscow. It's like probably in New York. I don't know if there's bad traffic there.
Yeah, this is definitely bad traffic. But if you're in New York or Moscow and you don't have a car and you actually live in it,
in Moscow.
You're here. You know, like my house is 30 minutes from here by metro. And so it was just no problem for me to jump on the metro and just walk right out into the middle of Red Square.
Yeah, that's true. But I think I'm more like Americanized than yourself. I'm like, gotta get yourself a big car, gotta get yourself a big house, you know? And you're more like a guy from Moscow. It's like, why do I need a car? I can just take a subway, you know?
Yes,
it's like, it's really weird, you know, that the fact that you're from the United States living in Moscow and I'm from Russia, kind of living in Moscow, and it should be the other way around. But I guess that's stereotypical, isn't it?
Well, the grass is always greener on the other side, so I'm working to become a big city man, and you're working to become a country boy.
Yeah, I guess so.
The opposite of the way we were born, perhaps.
Get myself a Ford F-150.
I saw that. On his channel, he is, I believe, working on his house and other apartments. And he has a nice, big American car.
Oh, yes.
What are these flowers here? I've noticed that Russia likes to build things temporarily and like celebrate the season.
That's a good question. I have no clue.
You don't know?
No, absolutely.
You've spent too much time out of your country.
It looks nice, okay? So everybody just walks around and enjoys a bit of flowers, but I have no idea. You probably have a better idea of what's going on at the Red Spring.
No. You're going to give me the tour. Summer in Moscow.
Yeah, summer in Moscow when I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
That is the famous Bolshoi Theater. So we're gonna head through Moscow and end somewhere that is somehow related to Ivan's life. All right, so we're about to cross the street to the Bolshoi Theater. Ivan's gonna tell us all about it, right, Ivan? Okay.
Nope.
He's a younger man, I can tell, so I won't put him on the spot. He hasn't studied everything yet.
I'll tell you one thing, right, about it. Bolshoi means big.
Aha! Very smart.
Theater means theater.
I told my subscribers that episodes ago. I think was really interesting that got me wanting to have you on the show is that you are a Russian man, you went to university, you studied in Ireland. And I think this is cool because, I don't know, I mean, there's lots of subcultures, but, you know, on planet Earth, maybe you could say, there's European culture, there's Asian culture, there's African culture, there's Middle Eastern culture, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
Like the four main ones. And for some reason, the European culture, which includes Russia and America and, you know, lots of little countries, they seem to be united except not Russia. And that's always curious to me.
In what way do you mean
like
not united?
Russia's kind of like the odd man out, like not part of the club. And I don't know exactly why.
I think that's more stereotypical, to be honest with you. Because I don't know why, but I always had this feeling that Russian ideologies and mentality is completely different from European. But it is way, way closer to the American one, to be honest with you.
Right.
That's the idea I've always kind of got. The way that, you know, the way you have like the American dream where you have a house, a car, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The exact same in Russia, but they just didn't make up a name for it, you know, the Russian dream or something like that. And I think the family values and stuff like that is closer to the American values, with, you know, having a family and, you know, I don't even know. It feels like it is closer mentality-wise.
Then why is it? Now I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know. You know, this has just been my impressions. Why then, historically, does it, like, because I was raised this idea that Russia's the bad guy. Germany, they're our friends now. But Russia, they're the bad guy, you know? The Britons, they're our friends. You know, all the countries in Western Europe, they're our friends. Even Australia, you know? But Russia has the same base of historical biblical culture and all of these and clothes and food and marriage and buildings and cars and everything. Russia is the same. It is a European style country, but why is the West taught that Russia is other? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, but didn't it start over when there was the Cold War, when you had like all the nukes, the Cuban Missile Crisis? Everyone was like, oh my god, Russia is having a bunch of nukes all over the place. And then after that, you just get a bunch of movies where you would have the typical mafia guy being a Russian guy. And overall, all those movies that has bad guys, usually it's the Russian guys, and it kind of sticks to your head, I think. So that's how people got the idea that all Russians are bad.
So how come Germany is not bad anymore?
Because
you know, we had a big issue with them in the 40s.
Have you ever seen a movie where the mafia guy is some German guy? Have you ever?
Okay, so you put it down to Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that is one of the reasons. Because when I even went to school in Ireland, some people literally thought that my family was the Russian mafia. No kidding.
Okay, have you been to America yet?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, it's not cool. It's too bad. Shame on you.
I actually do want to visit. If you guys didn't know, I actually want to visit one day.
But
Check
this
it out.
gets to why I'm talking to you. So you are Russian, but you spent years in Ireland. So
Yep.
you were able to soak up the culture and the perspective of a Western country, a European country, let's say, that is not Russia, that is not America.
Yeah.
So how does this affect your perspective on things? Or what do Irish people think of America or Russia?
When I see something somewhere, like on the news, for example, I ask myself twice, and I try my best to kind of get everybody's points of view to understand on what's going on and stuff like that.
Do you think that Ireland and America are in sync
Yeah.
in their attitude towards Russia?
I never kind of felt any negativity, rather than the typical stereotypical type of stuff like, oh, you have bears on unicycles drinking vodka and juggling matryoshkas and stuff like that.
Okay, so you were treated well as a Russian, but they were just like teasing jokes.
Yeah, it's just a stereotypical thing,
Yeah.
like your family is in the mafia. I'm like, just because I'm Russian? But you never hear about, like, say, some Estonian guy. It's like, oh yeah, your family is in the mafia. And he'd be like, where did you even get an idea of my family being in the mafia, right?
Right.
So
right,
just,
right.
I think it's the movies and stuff like that that make the stereotypical thinking. And that's what probably made a lot of people back in the day in the United States think badly of Russia, don't you think?
Yeah. I think Hollywood is to blame. I mean, I've said this before, you know, because Hollywood's powerful, and Americans grow up watching it. Russians, though, they grow up watching Hollywood and Russian movies.
Yeah.
So Russians know both cultures in that regard, and Americans do not, which is a pity. I'm at the Bolshoi Theater again. That is Sanction Ivan's lady friend, and that is his butler. And there he is.
It's the security guard. You never know when the police can attack you.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
throw him out,
I'm
leave
sure
him there, and run away.
He has secret weapons. Like he knows martial arts. So we have gone a block. That is actually the back side of the Bolshoi Theater. And we are on a little city walk here. It actually sort of winds through the city. Well, it does, and connects to Red Square eventually in a roundabout way. I am an American. I have left my country. I'm living in Russia. I'm in a different country. Some might say I'm a traitor to my country. I've abandoned my country, because I do think America's not doing well right now. Hello to all the viewers from Russia, Europe, and the United States. I've been using Synthesit for a long time, and I recommend that you check out the video interviews with people who have used Synthesit to restore their health and vitality. Over the past 3 years, consumers have given about 400 interviews. And if you go to Synthesit's YouTube channel, you can find playlists in English, German, and Russian to see these interesting interviews. Perhaps among these interviews, you will find cases that will help you solve your health problems and regain vitality. I will be glad if my information helps you live better, feel better, and be healthy. Be sure to check out these unique video materials, which include interviews with famous athletes, doctors, and ordinary people. These are very interesting stories of real people. What mistakes do people make? What do they regret? What are they proud of? What difficult situations do they face, and how do they cope with them? All the links are in the description of this video. I think Russia is doing better right now.
Oh, that's a bold statement. You're gonna have a lot of questions in the comment section about that.
What can I do? I gotta tell the truth. So people who watch my channel, they'll go watch me on your channel because they'll want to see what else I have to say over there, and they'll investigate you, and they'll see that you also left because you were concerned about potential military service.
I was 50% sure that I'm not going to be taken in because of health issues, but there's that other 50% that could have been like, everybody, you go and serve in the military. And I'm not a big fan of like military stuff in the first place, like the real stuff. So I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go to another country for a while and wait it out, you know, see what's gonna be happening, because I really thought that, you know, they'd be just taking everybody in, absolutely everybody. And then after being in Turkey for around like 9 months, and I was speaking to my friends, and they were like, Yeah, nobody has been taken in.
Let's go this way. It's so noisy.
Yeah.
I want to hear your excuse.
I mean, I had a few friends that actually got the summon. Like they went through the military training in university and stuff like that. And they actually had people knock on their door saying, we're taking you in. But they were already out of the country. There's no doubt that they were taking people in. So that's why I left. And I didn't want to take my chances because in Russia, there's a saying, I don't even know how to translate it into English. It's better to, I don't even know how to, it's just better to leave and then not think about it than be here and obviously be scared of, oh, maybe something is going to happen. Somebody's going to knock on my door because it is what it is.
So
not much
what
I
would
can
you
do about
say
it.
to people that say you're a Russian and you need to support your country?
You know what? How am I supposed to support my country? Just because I left doesn't mean, what is supporting country? I mean, how do you guys support your country? I don't understand. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you left and you didn't support your country. But that's not the case, actually. The case is that a lot of people said, oh, well done that you left. They were asking me, why did I come
you
back?
Mean people on the street?
No, people on the street don't care. They're like, oh, you were in Turkey, all right. Who cares? You're a wuss. But like, the people who watch me, they said, oh my God, how could you come back to Russia? You're probably working for the government. That's why you are not mobilized. But when they watch my videos, they clearly see a bunch of men walking around, and that's not like digital graphics or anything like that. Because a lot of people, there is a big problem that really annoys me. There's a lot of Russian YouTubers that have left the country. They don't really have a sense of grip what's actually going on in Russia. And they're saying a lot of things, and people are literally thinking, like, no joke, that people are taken out of the streets right now and being sent to do military stuff.
But this is not happening.
Well, I mean, I'm walking around. Like, there's a bunch of men in that Hinkalne place, the Georgian restaurant. They're all eating a bit of food. Nobody's grabbing anybody.
Yeah, well, I haven't had to think about this as an American because for the past almost 50 years, there's been nothing like that happening in the U.S. Now, my father,
during the Vietnam,
he was going to be taken for Vietnam. So before he was taken, he went and signed up for medical equipment repair. And so he served, but it was a serving of his choice. And he picked something that was going to be more to his personality type, because he's kind of a nerdy guy like myself. Maybe you are too. And so what I wonder is, you know, if you're a person who is conflicted about it, like I don't want to serve my country in that way, or I don't want to be violent, or I'm afraid, you know, why wouldn't the answer be to just go and get trained to serve in a way that is more to your liking? What do you think about that?
You know,
I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah. What I think about it is, you know, I only get one life, and I mean, I should think about doing something about my family and stuff like that. The country, that's what the government officials are for. They should be deciding and doing something for the countries. People pay taxes. They should use those taxes to think about how to make the country better. If I was a politician or something like that, then yes, why not? I'd be thinking about, oh, how can I make this better? How can I make this better? But I'm just a random guy walking around with a camera, you know? So I think that the people who really want to make a change and serve the country should go themselves. You know what I mean? And people like me, who's like, you know, I want to try to do this, try to do that. I mean...
Well, here's my last question on this then. Do you think that a country needs a force of this type to exist as a country?
Obviously, there is not a single country in the world that doesn't have a military. Because if a country does not...
Well, there are ones that don't, but they are underneath the umbrella of another that does.
Yeah, but it kind of means they do have a military. But the point is, right, if a country doesn't have a military, somebody could be like, oh, well, you know what? They don't have a military, we could just walk in there.
Right.
So obviously, you know, my view about military and stuff like that, the right way to do it is like, as funny as it sounds, like in the US right now. If you want to serve the military, you actually go sign up. It's like a full-on career. You know, do sports, learn how to do different things, and you actually serve your country. Because in Russia, the compulsory service is just like, you know, you get taken in for a year to do some stupid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, in America, you do not have to serve at all.
Yeah.
I also, you know, what do I know except my experience? As an American for the past 40-some years, you know, we have like military cartoons for kids to watch. We have ads on TV all the time. We have billboards saying, be all you can be, join the military, see the world, do these amazing things.
Have Uncle Sam calling you.
Yeah, and so there is no issue with getting as many soldiers to volunteer, people to volunteer. And I mean, I just got here. I don't know if does Russia do that? Was Russia doing that in your lifetime?
What do you mean, like volunteer?
Like pushing, like advertising and encouraging people
it
to
wasn't
sign
as
up.
big as right now. Like there used to be not as many billboards where it's like, it's also a profession, defending your country and stuff like that. Back then it was just like, you know, a lot of people were like, if you did not serve your 1 year, you're not a man. It's kind of like that thing. But I think that everybody should have a choice if they want to serve or not, because I think, in my opinion, if you want to have a good military force, you have to have people that actually want to go to military to learn how to handle a gun, get absolutely ripped and do like a bunch of military stuff. I don't know, what do they do there?
All right, guys, Ivan and I have come to an Irish pub. I wanted to do this for him, even though I'm not paying for it. I'm going to pay for myself. He
Why am I here?
went to Ireland, and he studied there, and I wanted to show Moscow has everything. You can eat on the street. His friends are already doing so at this wonderful pub, and it's not the one I meant to go to, but they convinced me to go to this one. I hope it's just as good.
Ordered a small one. This is what they give to children in
Ivan's
Ireland.
friends are now drinking at an Irish pub on the street in Russia, and he's got a baby glass, drinking a Guinness for the first time. Coffee with cola inside of it.
No, I'm not gonna put it inside.
Okay. Is it recording?
Написано.
Aha. Umnaya девушка, спасибо.
So, cheers.
Cheers. Zing zing, Ivan.
Driving today, so gotta drink a bit of cola.
We have gone inside because Ivan's long-term lady friend, 6-year lady friend, was too hot.
It's boiling outside.
Meaning temperature-wise. Why did they call you Sanctioned Ivan anyway, or why do you call yourself Sanctioned Ivan?
Well, when I had to leave or get fired, whatever you want to call it, from my job because they weren't able to send me money because they turned off SWIFT, I was like, I'm under sanctions now, so, and my name is Ivan. So I was like, my name is Sanctioned Ivan for YouTube now. It came in like a second. I didn't even think about the name.
Very smart, very smart.
But
Kind of
it's
like
just-
expat American.
But you know what's funny? That the Sanctioned Ivan really sticks to the head. And it was like, you know, usually you would take ages to come up with a name or something like that. And it was just like, I wrote it down, made a channel, then posted the first video, and that's how it kind of started going.
Yeah, I had to think for maybe a week before I came up with my title. It was not that instant.
It's like, oh, we need a letter E, and then a letter X.
No, I did think that the letter X would be good, and a short word that sounds kind of intriguing that people don't really know what it means would be good. Ivan was telling me that Irish pubs don't necessarily look like Irish pubs in Ireland, which makes sense because it's just, for them, it's just a pub, so it can look like anything.
Yep.
Whereas in Russia or America, it has more the stereotypical look of like 100 years ago, let's say, right?
Yep. Very
And so
stereotypical.
you went to university there, and
I went
you
to school there.
School too?
Yeah. No, I went to university here and got kicked out here, but the school I went to was in Ireland.
So how old were you in Ireland?
From 8 to like 19.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa. So you are an international man.
Could be.
Are you of
never know.
mystery as well?
maybe an FSB agent, maybe an FBI or MI6. You never know. You never know.
Okay, so the Irish pubs that we eat at in Russia or America or Britain, they're just kind of like for fun, like Disney World, like decoration.
It is just not like that. Like you don't have. It does not feel like an Irish pub. If I was never in Ireland and I would come here, it'd be like, oh, I'm in Ireland. But
because when I go to the American diners that Moscow has, I'll say, yes, this is like an American diner. I mean, the menu items might be a little bit different, but for the most part, it's kind of like a heightened reality of the American diner.
Yeah, American diner is like everything made out of stainless steel, red couches, leather couches.
Yeah, you
right?
know why that is? That is the train design, because American diners were taken from train designs.
Yeah, so it's very easy to kind of make that feel. I mean, it does feel like it kind of say, yeah, it feels kind of like a pub, but there's just a few things, like some random things. It's just too much different paintings and stuff like that. It's usually not like that in Ireland.
So it's just heightened reality.
Yeah, just a bit more.
Like heaven.
Yeah.
I've ordered my Irish food with Ivan's cool young friends. Is Ivan cool and young? I don't know. His friends are. Is
Well, I'm
he?
not cool.
You guys decide. Look
Yeah.
at him.
You
What
gotta
do
be
you
careful.
think?
I don't have a knife. You only have a knife, so I'm gonna argue with you.
Before you click like and subscribe, because you should have done that already, I'm going to be on this guy's channel. And I'm going to say some things that maybe you haven't heard me say before. So be sure now to go over to his channel and watch my video there. And now, click like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, click share, interrupt my speech, and send this to your friends. Ivan, you want to say anything?
See you later, guys. And you know what? I'll tell you one thing. Let's all just be peaceful and have a bit of fun.
I'm not going to put that in the video.
And also, talking about the Western perspective, I actually don't know what I want to say about that, to be honest with you.
All right, cut. Let's get him off the show, guys.
Yeah, I'm
This isn't
out.
working.
See you later. I'm taking the microphone with me as
Where's
well.
Pavel?